Hello and welcome to the newspaper review here on Tab TV. Of course, this is where we get to discuss with people on the street, members of the street, get to see their reactions as regards headlines making rounds on the papers. My name is Obed Jerry, your host for today. And yes, you out there can also be a part of this show. If you are yet to subscribe to our channel, please subscribe, turn on your notification button, connect with us across all our social media platforms so that you get to receive our notifications. Well, before we discuss with people on the streets, let's first look into the newspapers and see what the stories look like. Alright, and firstly we'll be looking at the Daily Sun newspaper. Today being 2nd April, Tuesday 2024. We could see as headline says, domestic carriers, manufacturers groan as FX scarcity persists. Sub-story under that reads, 6 CBN intervention. Details of the story is found on page 25. You could see at the main story here, it says, Rivers political crisis. PDP rises against defecting lawmakers. Sub-story under that reads, insists members who joined APC no longer assemblymen. Details of this story is found on page 26. Here it says, Kaduna debt, NEF, CAN, others fume. Sub-story under that reads, tell Governor Sani to go after ex-Governor El Rufai, other culprits. Details is found on page 6. Unilorry expels 19 students over theft. Exam malpractices. Details is found on page 4. Multiple auto crashes, kill 13, injured 2 in Obajana. Sub-story under that reads, FRSC boss orders investigation. Details of this sad story is found on page 4. Insecurity, train passenger volume slumps. Details is found. Insecurity, train passenger volume slumps. Details is found on page 25. Ondo APC splits over choice of candidates. Wrangling in party ahead of primaries. Details is found on page 26, and that's all be taken on the Daily Sun newspaper. And moving on, we'll be looking at the Punch newspaper. We could see it says, Tinubu African leaders grace Senegal president swearing in today. Details of the story is found on page 8. Congratulations to the young president of Senegal. Right, still on the newspapers, we could see it says, OPEC oil output plunges as Nigeria, Iraq slashes export. Details is found on page 24. NEC sits over state police as governors plan forest guards. Details is found on page 2. At the main story, we could see it says, discos make 1 trillion naira amid grid crisis. Unmetered customers hit 5.8 million. Details is found on page 21 of the Punch newspaper. Easter, fun seekers flog parks, beaches amid tough times. Details is found on page 7. 2 million enrolled in Delta Health Insurance Scheme, says DG. Details is found on page 8. My experience in kidnappers den traumatizing, says Edo PDP chair. Details is found on page 20. Gunman terrorizing Anambra community arrested. Details of the story is found on page 4, and that's all we'll be taken on the Punch newspaper. And lastly for today, we'll be looking at the Nation's newspaper. We see at the top here, it says, Geregu Power to raise capacity to 1,300 megawatts. Sub-story under that reads, firms put investment at $550. Firms to put investment as $550 million. Details is found on page 4. Don't threaten Fubara with impeachment, says sub-story under that reads, PDP warns lawmakers. Details of the story is found on page 4. Tinubu for Faye's inauguration as Senegal president. Sub-story under that read, Macky Sall bows out. Details is found on page 6. No sacred cow in anti-graft battle, says EFCC boss. Details is found on page 4. At the main story, it says, Deputy Speaker Kalu renews lobby for Kanu's release. Sub-story under that reads, lawmaker seeks political solution. Southeast elders parley with Tinubu likely. Details is found on page 4. Zenith is Nigeria's best bank, says Global Finance. Details is found on page 4. And lastly, it says, separatists deny calling for protests in Southeast. Umai greets Elechi at 83. Details of his stories are found on page 26 of the Nations, and that's all we'll be taking for the newspapers for today. Now let's get to see the reactions of people on the streets. Let's get to hear what they have to say as regards these headlines making rounds on the paper. Stay tuned. All right, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Welcome. I would like your thoughts on the Daily Sun that says multiple auto crashes kill 13, injured 2 in Obajana. And this is not the first time it's happening.
Well, the case of Obajana and road accidents, that is Dangote, this is something that is always happening. There is no month or 2 months that you will not hear of such incident. Now, we only talk about it in the news as though it's just a common headline in the newspaper or in our TVs. But these are lives of people who have been wasted: mothers, fathers, children, daughters, brothers. Now, I think that capable hands be employed as drivers. You don't bring drunkards or people from your village because you want
Because you
to
know them, you
empower
want
them.
to empower
You
them.
know, you just give them these things without adequate training and license. They just hold. There was a day I was traveling in one of these northern states. I saw a small boy who is not even up to 17 years who was driving one of these Dangote's truck. I was shocked. Now tell me, a boy who has no responsibility, who is probably, this under the influence of useful exorbitance or alcohol or something, because he's very young, he can just run into the market and run people down. Also, you go to Obajana, the road there is nothing to write home about.
Yeah,
Dangote refinery, it's situated in Obajana community. At least the people who are in the community are supposed to enjoy good road. We're not talking about electricity for now. At least the road is supposed to be 100%, because on daily basis you have tens and hundreds of truck plying that particular route, and then you have the market women who are selling close by. So the government should step in and do something about it, because this incident is becoming unbecoming. So that's my take on it.
all right, thank you. Now let's deviate a little bit. On the punch, we could see it says Tinubu, African leaders grace Senegal president swearing in today. They just elected a young guy as president. Do you think it is possible for Nigeria to emulate such act? Because we could see people criticizing, complaining online, saying that this is Nigerians should emulate such. Is it possible in Nigeria?
Seriously, this particular issue is laughable. Why? Because it's a good thing that we are seeing is happening in other countries, but when it comes to Nigeria, it's just like, in fact, it's a shadow of itself. Now we are congratulating Senegal for having a young man, who is vibrant, strong, brain wise. He should be capable, let me use that word, should be capable, to take the country to another next level. But in Nigeria here, since I was in primary school, the same set of people who have been ruling till this day, this is over 30 years, they have been the same set of people who have been controlling the arms of the government.
More like recycling them.
More like recycling them. After this our president now, who knows the next one they are going to bring for us. Now young people are not even given that ladder to climb up to that level. It's just as if they are taking the young people as maybe assistants or errand boys. They say leaders, we are the leaders of tomorrow. This world has been existing for over 30 and 40 years. So I wonder when young people like us could be given such opportunity, to at least pilot the affairs of this country to another level. So for Senegal, I think congratulations to them, and to my dear country Nigeria. This is something that is worthy of emulation. We have a lot of young people, but sometimes, just like you and I, you cannot tell me now or yourself to go and struggle for tickets for the presidency or for gubernatorial seats. You will even decline immediately, because you will say, it will not even work, because it's
You don't
Nigeria.
have much support.
Nobody will even support you. As a matter of fact, the corruption has eaten deeply that even the young ones cannot support the young ones, because you will just know that it's a fight in futility. It's not going anywhere. You just hit the rock before you even start. So those elderly ones who are supposed to sit back, call the young ones, advise them, be like an advisory body, are still the same set of people ruling us every day by day. And we are now seeing analog kind of leadership. I don't want to go into the sectors of this economy, because certain laws, principles, and their doings, you wonder if at all we have economists that are advising this man, our president. because sometimes he will not just blame the president himself,
Blame
but
people around
also
him.
people around him. There are some policies they make, and you just sit down and you wonder if these are human beings making such laws. I wouldn't want to go into some of those things because of our time factor. But I just pray that one day Nigeria will have a young, vibrant hand who will take us to another level. Not saying that our president cannot do anything. Yes, age is not necessarily a factor in moving the country forward, but sometimes there are things that warrant you to, stress yourself physically a little bit, even mentally. So, and that is where we have little doubt. But then let's still give him the benefit of that and see where he takes the country to.
Now let's look at our country in general. Look at how the youths are living at the moment. Do you think if they are given the opportunity to pilot the affairs of this country, that they will do it adequately? Seeing how most youths do not participate politically, even just to come out and vote, most of them do not vote.
Yes, because the political world is made uninteresting. Myself, I don't like politics. Now, the last election, I came out to vote. I went to one community, Rupoku, in River State here, Port Harcourt. From morning till evening, I was not able to cast my vote until I came back to my house. Now, I said to myself, I was not going to waste my time in such act, in voting again. Now, young people have lost interest even in politics or in governance. Even certain people to even read this paper, in fact, it's just like wasting of their time. The time I will use in looking for money, how to better my own life, I'll just waste it in reading, because this news, these things are incidents that just reoccur on a daily basis. There's nothing that is done about it. So I feel young people are not given the chance and the platform to perform, and it's becoming uninteresting for we the young ones, and they have even drawn back, that they are no longer interested even to vie for position or to vote for people. So, but I think the government can still do something about it. Inclusive government, you bring the younger ones. We have the population. You go to the National Assembly, you go to the Senate, you will see people of 50, 60, 70, 80 still seated there. You can count the few young ones that are there. So you, as just a viewer or a spectator, how will you even have that interest to go and vie for such position? You will not. But if they give quota, say 60% to occupy such position, now we the young ones, we cannot start having interest. Okay, we have this opportunity, let me go for it. Then when you see that this young person didn't do well, you can now still vote for the next young one, knowing fully that your vote still counts. But as it stands now, the slogan everywhere is our vote doesn't count. That is it. And I think this narrative should be looked into.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay. All right, good day.
Yes, good day, man.
Welcome. I would like your thoughts on the Punch newspaper that says Easter, fun seekers flood parks, beaches amid tough time.
It's quite funny, but this is one thing that is good in Nigeria.
Exactly, upon the so much a lot that we are in. We are hanging out, catching cruise.
Obviously, Nigerians, we are good at adapting. We are good at falling into place, regardless of the challenges. They say there is scarcity, there is hunger. But look at us here, we're out, we're still enjoying.
Exactly, like I saw on Twitter, someone was saying if Nigeria was to have another nickname, it would be endurance.
Patience.
Exactly.
Endurance, aka patience, because we are very good at adapting. To shock you, even our government, they are surprised, because they think that with the way things are going now, Nigerians will lock themselves inside and start crying. But no, we keep pushing ahead every day. Every day is new to us. Every day, regardless of how it is. So and funny enough, this is Jesus Christ is the reason for the season. So it's a very good thing that we're celebrating regardless of what is happening. So it's not new. This is Nigeria, sir. Regardless of how it is, we still enjoy. Regardless of how it is, we still catch cruise. That's why comedy thrives more in this country, because we're people that have joy from the inside. This particular joy is not the joy that is within. It's from the inside. It's what we have inside of us.
Okay, yeah, I clearly understand it. But let's look at it from this angle. let's say if you are going through a lot, if you are going through hardship, you are expected to cry, to lament, to complain, and maybe go as far as even protesting. But Nigerians are not doing any of these. Don't you think the people at the higher authority would not be feeling what we are feeling? Maybe they will be feeling like, okay, these people are okay with what we are going through at the moment.
Over time now, we Nigerians generally, we have come to understand that the government do not hear us. No matter how we lament, no matter how we cry, they hear, they don't listen. That's the point. They hear. So what's the point of crying? Like a baby will only cry for the mom, knowing fully well that the mom will come and carry. But in this country, you crying there.
Okay.
But in this country, you crying out there, the government will not hear you. So that's why we have actually built, should I say, a kind of habitat where we can actually accommodate every situation that comes, knowing fully well that even if we go out to the street, you can still remember protests, how it used to be. Not that we have not been saying these things out, not that we are
Hardly used.
obviously it doesn't heal anything. So what's the point? Let's just, for the common man, let me just get what to eat today. That's just what keeps us going.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. This is where we draw our curtains for today. You heard everything that has been discussed here, and you can also add to what has been discussed here. If you have anything to add to it, please drop your comments in the comment section. Connect with us across all our social media platforms if you are yet to do any of this. My name is Obed Jerry, your host for today, and this has been the newspaper review here on TAP TV. See you next time.